Lougheed P-38 Lightning. The Lougheed P-38 Lightning became the only American fighter in continuous production from Pearl Harbor through VJ Day, with 37 aircraft manufactured between 1941 and 1945. Designer Kelly Johnson created the distinctive twin-boom configuration to meet demanding Army specifications requiring 20,000-foot altitude in 6 minutes, achievable only with twin engines. Two turbo-supercharged Allison V1710 engines producing 1,425 horsepower each enabled top speeds exceeding 400 miles per hour and service ceiling near 40,000 feet. The unique design placed armament in the nose pod with 120mm cannon and 450 caliber machine guns, providing concentrated firepower without convergence issues plaguing wing-mounted guns. The P-38 excelled in the Pacific Theater, where its twin-engine reliability proved invaluable over vast ocean expanses in dense jungle. American aces Richard Bong and Thomas Maguire achieved 40 and 38 victories, respectively, flying Lightnings. The fighter achieved legendary status executing the 18,800-mile mission intercepting Admiral Yamamoto's transport in April 1943. The P-38 served multiple roles, including long-range escort, ground attack carrying 4,000 pounds of bombs, and photo reconnaissance with F-5 variants, capturing 90% of aerial film over Europe. Curtiss P-40 Warhawk. The Curtiss P-40 Warhawk served as America's primary fighter during the early war years, with approximately 13,738 aircraft produced between 1939 and 1944. The design evolved from the earlier P-36 Hawk by installing the liquid-cooled Allison V1710 engine producing 1,150 horsepower, achieving top speeds near 364 miles per hour. The P-40 achieved legendary status with the American volunteer group known as the Flying Tigers, defending China against Japanese aggression before America's entry into the war. The distinctive shark-mouth nose art painted on Flying Tigers aircraft became one of the war's most recognizable images. Pilots developed effective tactics exploiting the P-40's superior diving speed and ruggedness, while avoiding turning dogfights with more maneuverable Japanese fighters. Allied nations including Britain, Australia, New Zealand, and the Soviet Union operated P-40, with British Commonwealth forces using the name Kitty Hawk. The fighter served on every front from North Africa, where it equipped Desert Air Force squadrons, to the Pacific and China-Burma-India theaters. While outclassed by later designs, the P-40 provided crucial air power during desperate early war fighting when nothing better existed. Belp 39 Arakko Cobra. The Belp 39 Arakko Cobra entered service in 1941 with 9,588 aircraft produced through 1944. Featuring the most unconventional design among American fighters, the innovative layout placed the Allison V1710 engine behind the pilot, driving the propeller through an extension shaft, allowing installation of a massive 37mm cannon firing through the propeller hub. Two 50 caliber machine guns in the nose supplemented the cannon, while four 30 caliber guns mounted in the wings provided additional firepower. Top speed reached 376 miles per hour, though performance degraded significantly above 15,000 foot due to lack of turbocharger. American pilots found the P-39 disappointing in high-altitude combat over Europe and the Pacific. The Soviet Union received approximately half of all P-39 production under Lend-Lease and embraced the fighter enthusiastically for low-altitude operations on the Eastern Front. Soviet pilots appreciated the powerful nose cannon for attacking German armor and ground targets. Soviet ace Alexander Pushkin achieved 59 victories flying Air Cobras, making it one of the highest-scoring fighters in Soviet service. Grumman F-4F Wildcat. The Grumman F-4F Wildcat served as the United States Navy's primary carrier fighter during the critical early war period, with 7,885 aircraft produced between 1940 and 1943. The stubby fighter featured Grumman's characteristic rugged construction with manually folding wings, allowing efficient carrier deck storage. The Pratt & Whitney R-1830 twin Wasp radial engine produced 1,200 horsepower, achieving top speeds near 318 miles per hour, substantially slower than the Japanese Zero. 650 caliber machine guns provided excellent firepower, while armor protection and self-sealing fuel tanks gave American pilots survivability advantages over Japanese opponents. The Wildcat proved inferior to the Zero in speed, climb rate, and maneuverability, forcing American pilots to develop tactical innovations. Commander John Thatch created the defensive Thatch Weave, allowing mutually supporting Wildcats to counter the Zero's turning advantage through coordinated maneuvers. Wildcat pilots achieved remarkable success during desperate carrier battles at Coral Sea and Midway, where American naval aviation stopped Japanese expansion across the Pacific. British Fleet Air Arm operated Wildcats under the name Martlet, achieving success in the Atlantic and Mediterranean. De Havilland Mosquito. The de Havilland Mosquito entered Royal Air Force service in 1941 with 7,781 aircraft produced through 1950, featuring revolutionary wooden construction. Designers Geoffrey de Havilland and Ari Bishop created a fast, unarmed bomber relying on speed for defense. But the design's versatility spawned fighter bomber, night fighter, and reconnaissance variants. The twin Rolls-Royce Merlin engines produced 300 horsepower total, achieving speeds exceeding 400 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest aircraft of the war. Fighter variants mounted 420mm cannons and 430 caliber machine guns in the nose, providing devastating firepower. The wooden construction used non-strategic materials, freeing aluminum and steel for other aircraft while utilizing furniture manufacturers for production. The Mosquito excelled in multiple roles, including precision bombing raids like the famous attacks on Ammonius Prison in Gestapo headquarters in Copenhagen. Photo reconnaissance variants operated at altitudes and speeds German fighters could not match. German officials, including Hermann Göring, expressed frustration at their inability to produce comparable aircraft. Hawker Typhoon. The Hawker Typhoon entered Royal Air Force service in 1941 with 3,317 aircraft produced through 1945 as Britain's premier ground attack fighter. Designer Sidney Cam created the large fighter around the powerful Napier Sabre 24-cylinder H engine, producing over 2,000 horsepower. Early models suffered severe teething problems, including structural failures, engine reliability issues, and poor high-altitude performance that nearly ended production. The massive fighter proved disappointing as an interceptor, but excelled at low-altitude operations where the Sabre engine delivered exceptional power. 420mm cannons plus provisions for 8 rockets or 2,000 pounds of bombs provided devastating ground attack capability. The Typhoon achieved legendary status during the Normandy invasion, destroying German armor, vehicles, and fortifications, supporting the Allied advance across France. German forces learned to fear the rocket-armed Typhoons that devastated panzer formations during the Files Gap battles. The fighter proved particularly effective against V-1 flying bombs, intercepting the cruise missiles at low altitude, where Spitfire struggled. Messerschmitt Me-262. The Messerschmitt Me-262 became the world's first operational jet fighter, with approximately 1,400 units produced between 1944 and 1945. Designers at Messrs created a revolutionary swept-wing aircraft powered by twin Junkers Jumo 0000 4-axial flow turbo jet engines, producing 1960 pounds thrust each. Top speed exceeded 540 miles per hour, making it approximately 120 miles per hour faster than any Allied piston fighter. 430 million Malawian kwaches, 108 cannons mounted in the nose, provided devastating firepower capable of destroying bombers with brief bursts. Adolf Hitler's insistence on developing the Me-262 as a bomber delayed fighter production, allowing Allied air forces to maintain numerical superiority. The jet entered combat in July 1944 with specialized units, including JG-7 and the elite Commando Natni. Allied pilots developed tactics exploiting the Me-262's vulnerability during takeoff and landing when slow speed negated performance advantages. The revolutionary fighter came too late and in too few numbers to affect the war's outcome. The jet's influence on post-war fighter development proved immense as every major air force pursued jet technology. Messerschmitt Bf 110. The Messerschmitt Bf WW110 entered Luftwaffe service in 1939 with approximately 6,000 aircraft produced through 1945 as Germany's primary heavy fighter. Designer Willy Mesmet created the twin-engine Zerstörer, or destroyer, intended to escort bombers and attack enemy formations with overwhelming firepower. Two Daimler-Benz DB6001 engines producing 1,100 horsepower each enabled top speeds near 342 miles per hour. Though maneuverability suffered compared to single-engine fighters, heavy-S armament typically consisted of two 20mm cannons and four 7.9mm machine guns with a rear-facing gunner operating a single machine gun for defense. The Battle of Britain exposed critical weaknesses as nimble Spitfires and Hurricanes decimated Bf 110 formations requiring single-engine fighters as escorts. The design found renewed success as a night fighter equipped with radar for intercepting RAF bombers during nighttime raids over Germany. Specialized night fighter variants mounted additional cannons in an upward-firing Schräge Musik installation, allowing attacks on bombers from below. The Bf 110 became the Luftwaffe's most successful night fighter, with ACE pilots achieving remarkable kill counts defending German cities. Lavitkin L5. The Lavitkin LF entered Soviet service in 1942 with approximately 10,000 units produced through 1944 as the Red Air Force's primary radial engine fighter. Designer Semyon Lavitkin created the fighter by installing a Shvetsov M82 14-cylinder radial engine producing 1,600 horsepower into a modified Leg 3 airframe. The radial engine eliminated cooling system vulnerabilities plaguing inline engine fighters while providing excellent power-to-weight ratio. Top speed reached 403 miles per hour, with exceptional performance at low altitudes where most Eastern Front combat occurred. The Le-5's simple construction used wood and metal, allowing rapid mass production by factories evacuated east of the Urals. The fighter entered service during the Battle of Stalingrad, where it helped Soviet forces achieve local air superiority. Improved La-5FN variants with fuel injection dominated during the Battle of Kursk in summer 1943. Soviet ace Ivan Kochedub achieved 62 victories flying La-5s, and the improved L-7 making him the highest-scoring Allied pilot. Mach-E 2002 Folor. The Mach-E 2002 Folor entered regular aeronautica service in 1941 with approximately 1,500 units produced through 1943 as Italy's finest fighter aircraft. Designer Mario Custodi transformed the earlier C-200 by installing a license-built Daimler-Benz DB6000 and one inline engine producing 175 horsepower. The sleek design achieved top speeds near 372 miles per hour, with exceptional maneuverability and handling characteristics praised by pilots. Armament consisted of two 12.7mm Brada Safet machine guns mounted in the nose, with some variants adding two additional wing-mounted guns. The C-2002 served primarily in the Mediterranean theater, engaging Allied fighters over North Africa, Malta, and Sicily. Italian pilots achieved notable successes against Hurricane and P-40 opponents, though Spitfires proved more challenging adversaries. The fighter demonstrated that Italian aviation could produce world-class designs when provided with adequate engines. Most surviving aircraft were captured by German forces after Italy's armistice in September 1943, with some continuing service until war's end. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and drop a comment. See you on the next one.